Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Framework podcast. My name is Joksan. This is episode 009. And this is going to be a pretty hard-hitting short one. The reason I say that is because I'm going to speak a little candid and exercise some speech. And I think it's going to be a net positive for a lot of you because this is something that I've also overcome recently, and I believe is going to help many of you should you decide to apply it. So let's get right into this. Hey, like I said, welcome back to the Framework podcast. This is episode 009. I'm your host, Joksan, and in today's episode, we're going to speak about your inability to start. And I bring that out because I've noticed that many of us face or have faced that turmoil when we decide we want to achieve something. We see it so far-fetched that it just seems that we'll never get there. And I would highly, highly recommend you do some introspective, a deep dive into yourself and ask yourself why. Reason I say to ask yourself why, because your goals are only achievable by you. So if you neglect to ask yourself that question, why am I not achieving them? You're never going to get the answer that you need to hear, not needing to placate yourself. I'm talking about a direct answer, a candid answer that is needed in order to probably either A, kickstart you in the right direction, or B, make you so afraid because you've been failing all your life that you just give up. And I hope that you're able to focus on and really take in the information that you're going to receive from truly answering that question and finding out why is it that you set goals. And now I preface this because you might set goals, small ones, like, hey, I want to lose 5 pounds by spring. Great. You gave yourself 3 to 6 months to lose 5 pounds and you achieved it. Fantastic. But that's really not a challenging goal. The goals that I'm talking about are those that are transformative in the sense that you have to push yourself to the point to where it's almost every day that you're doubting whether you're going to achieve it or not. And if you continue to push, your odds are ever increasing in your favor that you will achieve it. So, but the issue at hand is many of us set goals that truly frighten us, for lack of better words. And a lot of these goals we know that they need to happen. For example, I was just having a conversation with my wife, and it went to the tune of this, that, I'm sitting here at over 300 pounds. I don't want to be at over 300 pounds, no matter how, jacked or cut I might get. At age 60, 65, 70, that's not going to be any good for me. So I have time yet. Yeah. And my goal is to lose 100 by the time I'm 50, and I still have 2+ years to achieve that. And I have no doubt that I'll achieve it. Now, when I first set this goal for myself was last fall, I believe. And it was daunting because I knew that the work ahead of me was going to be pretty rough. I had it cut out for me. And there were times where, I wanted to quit. And I say this because I've tried and I've stopped, and I've tried and I stopped, and I've tried and I stopped dieting, working out, exercising, new things, any fad diet out there. And the realization that came to me now that I'm really hitting it, now that I'm seeing results in the gym, now that I'm seeing, results in how my body's reacting and how I'm able to have more endurance, perform more work. And this is still with my herniated discs. So I knew that it was all based on the mentality that I approached it. And that was a hard hitting lesson for me because that is so important. And without that mentality, you're not going to start. And that is what I wanted to bring up about on this podcast episode. You have to start. Whatever goal you set for yourself is not going to just miraculously appear as success in your column. Any goal you set for yourself, you have to start that journey. And that journey is to get started by you and you alone. And yes, you'll have supporters. Like, I have a wonderful family that supports me. My wife's fantastic. So is my youngest. And they're great supporters. They want me to succeed. And I appreciate it. I appreciate them for that because it helps. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. A support system definitely helps. It helps to keep us accountable. They've helped to keep me accountable. They've helped to motivate me. They've cheered me on when, I was dragging cheeks, and they weren't afraid to speak their minds when I needed a correction. So all those are good things. However, many of us have grown so soft that if anyone were to call us out for anything, it's like you got pierced through the heart. Like, those conversations need to get had, excuse me. The conversations that, perk us up and get us on our feet and get us moving, we need to have more of those because this world is being being filled with soft men. And us as men, we have to develop some grit. You have to develop some fortitude. Your mentality needs to be on point. And those things aren't natural to us. We're not born with those skills. They're acquired through experience. They're acquired through us putting ourselves out there, and the effort and the work and the grind and the monotony and just going at it day in and day out is how these skills are developed. And if you're not willing to start on that journey to whatever path you've chosen, you're going to be right where you're at today. If you see yourself, as a master of, I want to say your career, if you see yourself as someone who's achieved what they set out to achieve, anybody that you can look and say, man, that person has achieved great success in X, Y, Z. You think they just sat on the couch and played video games till it happened? Do you think they wore pajamas 5-6 days out of the week? Do you think that they have a routine, a set schedule when they got up every day and when they went to bed and how their day got started and they planned their day out? These steps are necessary. We see the instant gratification that's fed to us daily on these social platforms. Those are just highlight reels. If you believe that you can get a 6-pack abs in 21 days, that you got some issues. If you're the one that believes, I can make $1 million in 4 days, that's nearly impossible. And even if you were to achieve that, what you're missing out on is so important, because let's say you take two people. Person A wants $1 million and has spent the next 10 years of his life working towards that million. He started starting a small business. Let's say it was lawn care, supplements, cleaning business, beard oil and beard care business, whatever. He started a business. And it started small. Sales were maybe to his friends, tried the product out, they sold it, he gave a few free, making a couple, $100 a month maybe. But he stayed with it, right? Let's say it was beard oil. give it to his friends, refine it. Then his friend said, yeah, it's pretty good, but I'm still itching, whatever. Got some feedback. He refined the product. Then he started learning how to make the product better. Then he started learning how to price it better. Then he learned how to market it. Then he learned people skills. He became one that produced a great experience for, men that had beards and how to take care of them. Then he started doing videos on how to care for the beards. I'm laying out this framework for you, and this is applicable to anything that you want to achieve. Then you give person B that, let's say, I don't know, posted something on Amazon and it sold like crazy, and it was a fidget spinner. Let's just say that, a fad thing, and he made $1 million in 6 weeks. Great, good for him. Like, I'm not knocking either. However, what we're missing is that process that it took person A to make that million versus person B. See, person B was almost instant gratification. If you make $1 million in 6 weeks, you're gonna feel great, right? But what you fail to understand and comprehend is person A, it took him 10 years, but he has 10 years of experience gained. He has 10 years of how to manage his business and money and people, and how to create a great experience for his clients, for his customers, and how to manage that experience. Then he has people that he's trained to do it for him. Now he's able to scale at mass. Person B was a one-man show, had these fidgets done at the cheapest price possible, made $1 million, but he deprived himself from all that experience. Now, in 10 years, person A made $1 million. Person B made it in 6 weeks. However, when they both meet after 10 years, who's going to have the better standing? Who's going to have the more experience? Who's going to be able to manage that money and make that money work for him to create a better life for him and his family? It's going to be person A, because he has gone through the process. And that's what I'm trying to bring out and make a point that if you have any goals that you want to achieve, lay them out. Write your goal out. Use it, pen and pad. Write it out. This is what I want. Give it, a timeline. So I want to lose 100 pounds by the time I'm 50. That's 2.5 years. That's a timeline. Wait, my goal is this much by this time. For my business, we want to have 5 teams producing X amount of money by X amount of time. Let's say that was one of our goals. For our cleaning products, we want to have X amount of subscriptions by X amount of time. You see, so these are goals that once you set a time, what do you want? Identify that first. Set a time for it. And don't push it out so far that you forget about it. That makes no sense. You need some urgency, a sense of urgency for yourself, because that's going to keep you on that path. It's going to drive you to stay with it, because you know that the time is coming. That finish line is going to get here sooner than later. So do that. If you're trying to learn a new skill, let's say you want to learn, I don't know, boxing, jiu-jitsu. Now, you want to learn how to run, or you want to learn to lift weights. Fine. Let's go with lift weights, because that's pretty common now. It's still the beginning of the year. People are trying to get in shape for that summer body. So if you want to get fit and lift weights, you want to learn, you've never lifted a weight in your life, how are you going to do it? You already know that by summertime, June, late June, you want to have a swimsuit or a beach body. So there's your timeline. So you want, how many pounds do you want to lose? Or how much muscle do you want to gain? Or what body percentage do you want to have by June 21st or whatever the day is? Figure that out. So if you want to be able to look lean and jacked in 4 months or 3 months, then you know that you got a mountain in front of you, because now you have to really hammer down on your workout routine, your dieting, which exercises you're going to do, right? How many times a week you're going to do it. So that might need you to do 2 workouts a day for the next 3 months in order for you to get that body, and also calculating what calories you're going to take in, your macros. Like, it's a lot to do in order to achieve that. And it is achievable. If that's something that you're after, that's definitely achievable. So get after it. So there's your timeline. You have your goal, you have your timeline. Now the process is you lay it all out. What do you need? Educate yourself. I'm YouTube certified in many things. There's no shame in that. Do your research. There's plenty of people on this very avenue, whatever, that you're watching me, that have experience on what you want to learn. I have life experience. I have some business experience, right? So that's what I'm putting out. I have experience in a lot of things: mechanic, electronics, construction, parenting, being a husband, being a knucklehead. But, this is all stuff that I've put forth the effort to learn. You have to do the same. So it's important. I want to close out with, gentlemen, whatever it is that you want to achieve, set it before you. Claim that goal and put a timestamp on it. And then do the research all the way back to the starting line. But remember that you yourself have to start. So I challenge you, start. Don't let this life just cruise on by. Things are getting worse out there, right? And if you're not seeking the best version of you, you're not building the framework for you and your family, you're going to be like a, rudderless ship with no anchor, just being tossed about whichever way the waves go. You have to set that foundation, gentlemen. So start. I urge you, I say this because I care about you. And when I speak through this mic, it's because, these things merit some attention. And if you're not where you want to be, it's time to start. So thank you for joining me. Always remember, complaining changes nothing. Embrace the pain, pay the price, and build out your framework.